Underwriting Souls is a collaboration between Black Beyond Data, a Mellon Foundation funded initiative, and Lloyd's. What you're about to see is the product of much research into the history of Lloyd's and its ties to the transatlantic slave trade. The insurance of ships, cargo, and captured enslaved persons, as well as the development of complex chains of credit, facilitated the growth of the transatlantic slave trade, and especially Britain's role in it in the 18th and 19th century. The profits of slavery not only allowed for the growth of commodity markets for goods like sugar and cotton, but also for enslaved people themselves. The scale of the transatlantic slave trade was vast and profitable, not only for the colonies of the British Empire, but also for the British Isles themselves. These histories, too often difficult to access or underappreciated, have shaped the lives of Britons of all identities, all those who live on either side of the Atlantic Ocean, and remain central to our understanding of the modern world. Such a project required a unique form of collaboration to maintain high ethical standards and financial independence. At the center of our approach is the inclusion of members of the Black British academic and artistic communities, including the Black Cultural Archives, in the formulation of an advisory board to oversee the work on this project to facilitate collective benefit to society while also minimizing harms. With funding from the Mellon Foundation, we supported the digitization of all the materials in Lloyd's collection pertaining to the transatlantic slave trade. While the activities of insurers in the City of London may seem far removed from the plantations, the ships, and the violent spaces of imprisonment along the coast of Africa, these financial architectures and assessments developed at Lloyd's helped maintain the institution of slavery. In conducting the necessary background research to adequately present these materials through these online exhibits, we've concluded that subscribers to Lloyd's, including members of the governing body of the market, the Lloyd's Committee, had significant connections to the transatlantic slave trade and the larger economies produced from the trafficking and enslaving of people. Alongside these exhibits, we've compiled a digital archive of the materials in the Lloyd's collection pertaining to the transatlantic slave trade, where you can view all the digitized materials from the Lloyd's collection, presented under a Creative Commons license. Archives, however, present and leave us with many questions. These materials tell us little about the people who were captured and enslaved under the practices facilitated by the Lloyd's market. In response to the violent nature of these objects and materials, we partnered with Spread the Word and Ink, Sweat and Tears, a London writer development organization and publisher, which helps London writers make their mark on the page, the screen, and in the world. We are most grateful for the editorial work of Boyega Odebanjo, Ruth Harrison, Tom McAndrew, Kate Birch, and the brilliant artistic and poetic works of Courtney Conrad, Remy Graves, Keith Jarrett, Levi Naidu Mitchell, Jess Nash, and Malachi Sargent. Our aim is for this work to be a resource for teaching and learning. We produce materials on how to engage with our exhibits and digital archive for education and research purposes. The collections of Lloyd's, the largest insurance market in the world, are critically important historical materials for understanding the histories of the Atlantic slave trade. These collections at Lloyd's, likely the only of their kind in the world, shed light on the wider economy of slavery, its importance to British society and the British Empire. This project brings them to the public for the first time for educational purposes, so that we can all learn and expand our knowledge. We hope you find these resources useful.